Hello, namaste, hola, assalamu alaikum, hola. Yes, you guessed it right. Today on 5-Minute Travel Tips, we are going to talk about what are some of the essential travel terms and phrases that you should know before you plan your next holiday. When I travel abroad, I make it a point that I prepare myself to have the best experience possible. How do I do that? I go onto Google, I read blogs, I research a lot to find out the best places to eat, the best places to see, and the best experiences to have. But at the same time, I have this travel ritual that a few days before my trip, I will spend about 15 minutes to understand and learn some of the travel words and phrases of the destination that I am going to. Because if you think English is spoken all throughout the world, let me tell you, you are making a big travel mistake. Take for example Spanish. The Spanish language is spoken in about 20 countries and is slowly becoming the second most popular language in the United States of America. Take French, the language of love. Everything just sounds incredible when spoken in French. And 50% of the English vocabulary is actually derived from French. So it is quite an easy language to learn. If you are going to South America, Portuguese is the language that you should know. Portuguese has quickly spread throughout South America, and as a matter of fact, if you learn Portuguese or if you know a few of the terms and phrases in Portuguese, the local communities respect you and are more friendly than if you were to approach them in just English. And finally, the Middle East is becoming the center of globalization. So Arabic is another language that you should know a few words and terms and phrases in, just so that it becomes super easy. So without wasting any time, let's get into some of the terms and phrases that you should know before you make your next trip. You should know how to say hello. You should know how to say yes. You should know how to say no. You should know how to say thank you. You should know how to say please, and you should know how to say excuse me, if not any more. So for example, hello can be hola or buongiorno. Yes could be ye in Korean and ya in Indonesian. Whereas no would be annyeong in Korean and tidak in Indonesian. Now, if you're in Thailand, for thank you, you would say kap kun ka or kap kun kap. And if you're in Thailand and if you want to just ask the taxi driver how to use the meter, which you should definitely do, you have to say chai meter mai. And if you want to say thank you in Japan, you have to say Arigato Gozaimass. Now, if you're at a restaurant and if you want to call for the server, you would say excuse me, right? Now, if you were in Japan, you would say Sumimasen. One of the most essential things you require when you travel is water. So, if you're in Thailand, you would say Naam. If you're in India, you would say Pani. Now, if you've done something wrong and if you want to say sorry, and if you're in Germany, you would say Es tut mir leid. But if you wanted to say excuse me in Germany, you would say Entschuldigung Sie. Now, these are just examples that I've given you, but as I've gone across the world, as I've traveled the world, I've made sure that I've learned these things and these have just been etched in memory. Another thing that I learned is that you should definitely know how to say toilet in the language. So if you're in Spain, you would say inodoro. Another thing that is super important is that if you have any dietary restrictions, you should also learn the words for those items as well. Because imagine if you have an allergy for peanuts, and if you are at an Italian restaurant in any part of the world and you want to tell them this and you can't, you might just end up in hospital, right? Because what if they give you peanuts in your pesto pasta? As simple as that. A few other things that you should definitely know is how to say train station, airport, bus, taxi. And finally, you should also know how to say the bill please, because you'll always be saying that at least 2 times a day. Knowing how to say hello, negotiating prices, asking for directions, and even including yourself in some chit-chat at a restaurant or at a bar that you will find yourself in, you will find out that the local people are just way more polite than normal. And in such circumstances, the locals will help you know more about a destination and your travel will just simply become more incredible. If you are taking it easy and saying that, oh, my friend knows the language, so why should I learn? Trust me, if you were to get lost somewhere, your friend may not be there with you. So it's always good to know these phrases or words, because if you're at a restaurant, know how to say excuse me, know how to say thank you, know how to say the bill please. But with the advent of technology, this has been made easier. So I often use 2 apps. One is Google Translate, which everyone should download on their phone. And if you're traveling to a country, Google actually offers you the option to download an offline version of that particular language. So even if you may not have internet, you can use it. And at the same time, before I travel to a place, I also use a gamified version, which is Duolingo. Duolingo just helps you in a fun way understand the language, know the key phrases, and I have done that many times. You should definitely give it a try. And with that, we reach the end of another episode of 5-Minute Travel Tips with Neil Patil. Adios, goodbye, Auf Wiedersehen. Thank you so much for listening in, guys. See you next week.